Hey guys, Mr. P here again, and we're going to talk about 3 special lines that you need to know because they're definitely going to be on your test. You ready? Okay, so the first thing, you have to know what a slope is. Okay, so slope is represented by the letter M, and it's basically the rise over the run. Okay, so it's a change of the y values over the change of the x values. The slope tells you how steep a line is and what direction it's going. So if the line's going up, if it's going down. Okay, so here's an example. So if we have these points here, right? From one point to the next, we're going to go up. That's the rise. Then we're going to go to the right, run. Okay, and then we plot our next point. So again, rise, up, to the right, run. Rise, run, rise, run. And then we could draw our line. Okay, so our first special line is going to be y equals x. Here's the graph of y equals x, and let's plot some points here. So the first point is 0, 0. So it's going to go through the origin. Remember, origin means 0, 0. So whatever your x value is, your y value is going to be the same, right? Because y equals x. Okay, so again, the rise would be 1, and the run's can also be 1. So there's our next point, which is 1, 1. Again, rise over 1, 2, 2. So the slope here is going to be 1, which is the rise, over 1. And 1 divided by 1 is going to give you 1. So the slope is 1. If you ever see a line like this, y equals x, the slope is going to be 1, and the x and y values should equal each other. Okay, so we're going to have a positive slope, positive slope. And if you already know about slope-intercept form, we know that the slope is a coefficient of x. It's usually the number in front of the x in slope-intercept form. Okay, so our next special line are horizontal lines. The equations are going to start with y. Y equals some number. So let me give you an example. Here's a horizontal line. So let's plot some points here. So this point's going to be 0, 2. This is 1, 2, and 2, 2. So what do you notice about all the y values? Good, they're all the same. So our equation is going to be y equals 2 because all our y values are going to be 2. So x could be anything. Okay, so x could be anything, but all we care about is the y value. So y equals 2. So horizontal line is always going to be y equals a number. So the equation for this line is going to be y equals 2. Now let's figure out the slope. Okay, so remember, slope is represented by m, and it's going to be the rise. So do we go from one point to the next? Do we go up at all? No. So our rise is going to be 0. From one point to the next, we do go 1 unit to the right, right? See, 1 unit to the right. So that's going to be our run. So what's 0 divided by 1? The slope's going to be 0. Okay, 0 divided by anything is always going to be 0. So that makes sense, right? Because the slope is not going up, it's not going down. So it's flat. So the slope is going to be 0. On to the next one. Okay, last one, vertical lines. So if horizontal lines, y equals a number, then vertical lines are going to be x equals a number. So here's an example of a vertical line. Let's plot some points here. So let's plot this point, which is 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2. So what do you notice about the x values this time? So in this case, all the x values are the same, right? They're all 3. So the equation for this line is going to be x equals 3. Okay, so there's no y values because y could be anything. So let's figure out the slope. So again, slope is rise. So from one point to the next, we do go up 1. That's the rise. But do we go left or right? We don't go to the right, right? So the run is going to be 0 because we don't go to the right. We only go up. So in this case, slope's going to be undefined. So why is it undefined? Because you can't divide a number by 0. Remember, when you're dividing, you're splitting something into groups. Okay, so in this case, you can't split something into 0 groups. That doesn't make sense. So whenever the denominator is 0, the slope is going to be undefined. Okay, so let's recap. So remember, this is going to be on your next test for sure. So we have a diagonal line, which is y equals x, and the slope is going to be 1. And for horizontal line, it's always going to be y equals a number, and the slope is 0. It's flat. And for vertical lines, in this case, it's -1, x equals -1. The slope is undefined. So remember, vertical lines, slope is undefined. Thanks for watching, guys. Follow and subscribe for more.